back to my channel. And for those of you that are new, my name is Marissa, also known as Homemaking with Marissa. Today I'm going to be sharing with you the items that I will be meal prepping for this week. I always meal prep one day a week. Typically it's on Sunday, but today none of my kids were home and I thought that would be a great opportunity to be able to get ahead and just get some meal prepping done. The first thing I'm going to be meal prepping is some homemade almond milk. I start by adding my almonds to a mason jar and filling it up with water. In this jar, I have 1 cup of almonds and then I just fill it all the way to the top with unfiltered water. I stick this in the refrigerator and let the almonds soften for at least 24 hours. These have been in there for about 72 hours. Next, I will just strain them off, rinse them, and stick them into my Vitamix. I think that for this recipe, it's best to use a high-powered blender to make sure that you're able to really get the almonds blended up. To the almonds, I will add 4 cups of water, a splash of vanilla extract. If you'd like to see a separate video that I've filmed showing how I make homemade vanilla extract from scratch, I will link that video in the description box down below. I am also going to add just a pinch of salt and blend it for about a minute. Once your almonds are completely blended, you are going to pour your mixture through a nut bag to make sure that you're able to separate the almond milk from the almond pulp. You don't have to discard the almond pulp. You can roast it in the oven to make some almond pulp granola. My personal favorite is to add it to some ground meat and make homemade meatballs that are gluten-free. So you can go ahead and just take that almond pulp and stick it in with some dried seasonings, some ground turkey, ground beef, ground pork, whatever your meat of choice is, and it will create a meatball type consistency and help bind the meat together. I personally love having homemade almond milk on hand to add to my coffee or to make the kids smoothies. Here's the almond milk. I actually ended up making 8 cups of almond milk instead of just 4. I just kind of eyeball it. I felt like it was going to be a little bit too thick if I only did 4 cups of water. It's not an exact science. Almond milk, just soak the almonds, blend them up, strain them, add as much or as little water as you want, depending on how thick and creamy you like your almond milk to be. Next, I'm going to be making my own hazelnut spread. My kids just tried the chocolate hazelnut spread for the first time, and I wanted to see if I could make it in a way that was lower in sugar and that I was more in control of the ingredients. When you buy the brand name of that, it has a ton of sugar in it. Let me show you what I'll be using to make our homemade hazelnut spread. I found these at a local health food store. Oregon is known for their hazelnuts. I think that Trader Joe's also sells Oregon hazelnuts. I just try to buy hazelnuts that are, these have been dry roasted. Ideally, I would have found raw hazelnuts, but I couldn't find any at my grocery store. So I'm just going to take these, put them on a sheet pan, roast them to heat up some of the oils within the hazelnuts. Then I will blend them with some cocoa powder. This is an organic Dutch cocoa powder that came from Kroger's, or if you're on the West Coast, it comes from Fred Meyer. And then I'm going to add a couple of splashes of maple syrup. You could use regular sugar, you could use brown sugar, you could use honey, whatever your family sweetener of choice is, and go ahead and just add that to sweeten it up a little bit. My goal is not to add a ton of this because I do want to limit the amount of sugar that's going to be in our hazelnut spread. I also might need to add just a splash of oil. Sometimes when you're making nut butters at home, it does need a little bit of oil to get it going if they haven't been roasted long enough. I also forgot to mention that my oven is set at 350 degrees and I will roast these for about 15 minutes.
I find it hard to not give in.
Here is what the hazelnut spread looks like when you're finished. I ended up adding 6 ounces of the roasted hazelnuts, 2 tablespoons of maple syrup, 2 tablespoons of cocoa powder, and then I also added a pinch of salt at the end. I will link all of the exact measurements in the description box down below for you to reference. Next, I'm gonna prep fruits and veggies. My kids are great about eating fruits and veggies, but sometimes I am not wanting to wash up the fruit and cut up the vegetables for them when they're wanting a snack. So I try to keep these bins full of already pre-washed and pre-chopped fruits and veggies. This storage container comes in a 3-pack off of Amazon. It does come in and out of stock, but I will try to link it in the description box down below if it's something that you're interested in looking at. It has these little attachments that you can separate the container into 2 different areas if you'd like to prep a variety of fruits and veggies. And it also helps keep the fruits and veggies fresh for longer. So it does definitely, I find, prolong the shelf life of my produce after it's already been washed and chopped. This came in a 3-pack with a variety of different sizes. That's perfect to just stack inside of the refrigerator. Today, I have some oranges that I will peel and quarter. I have some strawberries that need to be washed and chopped. And for veggies, I have a partial bag of baby carrots. Now, even though these are already pre-washed and in the container, I find that the liquid that comes in here, a lot of times my kids will end up making a mess, or they will, because it's so open like this, they'll knock them over, we'll get water in the refrigerator, or it'll spill on the floor. So I do try to drain them and stick them into a prep container. Also going to chop up some celery as well as some mini bell peppers. And we've got our strawberries, bell peppers, oranges, carrots, and celery all ready to go for snacking this week. Next on the meal prepping list is going to be just some simple hard-boiled eggs. I always use my Instant Pot for hard-boiled eggs. I stick them in cold and use the 5-5-5 method, which means that you are going to set your Instant Pot for 5 minutes. Once the timer goes off, you're going to allow it to naturally release for 5 minutes before you hit the valve to the quick release setting, and then you are going to soak them in ice cold water for the next 5 minutes. They are then ready to peel and store in the refrigerator. If you leave your eggs in the shell, they will last longer than if you pre-peel them, though typically I like to make sure that my hard-boiled eggs are already peeled, so that's one less thing I have to think of when we are ready for a quick snack. I've already added 1 cup of water to our Instant Pot. I'm just going to stick the liner in, and I find that 6 hard-boiled eggs is the perfect amount for my family. Not all my kids like hard-boiled eggs, and we just typically don't go through more than that. But I've done as many as a dozen inside of the Instant Pot without any issues of them not cooking properly. And if I have eggs that are left after a couple of days, I'll just turn them into egg salad. I store my hard-boiled eggs inside of a wide-mouth mason jar. 6 eggs fits perfectly inside of here. And I find that storing the eggs in glass helps them last a little bit longer and stay more fresh. They also don't get that kind of soggy, mealy consistency that sometimes eggs that have been pre-boiled can get. Next, I'm going to be prepping ingredients for a salad. I have talked about this multiple times on my channel that oftentimes I will buy the pre-chopped bag salads because it's not that I won't eat a salad, it is often that I do not want to prepare a salad. However, we have this head of iceberg lettuce and half of a cucumber left over. I'm just going to chop these up, put them into a bowl so that they are ready to go. That way, if I'd like to add additional vegetables like the carrots that we've prepped, the bell peppers, fruit, nuts, seeds, we can just go ahead and add that to our pre-chopped salad. I also like to chop the lettuce really fine. I do not like big pieces of lettuce inside of the salad. So when I buy chopped salads, oftentimes I will try to find where the lettuce has been sliced really thin. I'll slice it one direction and then I come back through and chop it again the other way to make sure that the pieces are really small for this lettuce.
Finish this entire process took around 30 minutes. Was able to prep quite a few vegetables, fruit, salad, a protein source, a nut milk, and then a spread or a dip. If you found this video helpful, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't done so already, you can subscribe to my channel by clicking on my face here. I will include an entire playlist full of meal prep videos for you here, as well as a video that YouTube thinks that you would enjoy down here. I hope you are all staying happy and healthy. Bye!